8:30. No, I'm about to stream. I don't think it's open though. It's Thanksgiving. I don't think it's open because it's Thanksgiving. Let's see. Hey, Seymour Butts, what's up? Stitching No Fap, what's going on? Hey everyone, I'm live on Kick again, so just click the link in the bio if you want to watch me live. I only have to do this for a few more days until I get unbanned from YouTube. Okay, there we go. Yep, Canadian Thanksgiving. Fuck, dude. Oh, the Kicker Keep was canceled. They're gonna do it next week. Let's see.
All right, welcome to the show, everybody. We got a serious show today. So I'm going to give you a full breakdown of what's happening with the Israel-Palestine war right now. Of course, as you all know, Netanyahu made it official and said, we're at war. We're at war. And of course, this is after a Hamas invasion of Israel. Like I said, we'll break it down from every angle imaginable. We'll be as objective and fair as possible. We're also going to do what many other shows I don't think will do, which is give you what's happening now and also give you quite a bit of backstory as to how we got here, because everything in context is always better. More information is always better. So we'll do that. We also have Republican rhetoric on this issue turns genocidal. I mean, I know that sounds hyperbolic, but when you see the commentary, you'll realize it's not hyperbolic even a little bit. We have Nikki Haley on that front, and there's some writer for, I believe, the Daily Caller who, I mean, really disturbing stuff. We also have, to my surprise, Fox News fact-checked a Republican claim on this, which is spreading like wildfire. The idea that somehow Joe Biden is responsible for this Hamas terror attack, and they're using a completely misleading point in order to make the argument. And to Fox's credit, they come out there and say this is not even remotely true. So we'll talk about that. Then we have Democrats and Republicans call for war with Iran. This is why I'm saying it's a serious show. Like the rhetoric has ramped up colossally ever since the Hamas invasion of Israel. And then we have Fox hosts calling for civil war. And I will get into the Hillary Clinton formal deprogramming comment about MAGA supporters. And very, very strange segment, throwing a little curveball at you here. I've been one of the toughest people on Matt Gaetz to this point. I think he's a purity tester and a virtue signaler. And I think on substance, him and McCarthy actually agree on stuff. The difference is Gates has no idea how Washington actually works, and he just wants the cameras on him. But am I not the fairest person on the planet? I'm going to give Gates credit for something. He actually got something right, and this is actually something that's super important, so you're going to want to hang on for that. All right, so without further ado, before we get started, everybody do me a big favor. Please click like, click subscribe. We're trying to continue to grow the channel, and with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, as you all know, Hamas did an invasion of Israel recently. We did a video, Crystal and I did a video in the car driving to New York where we talked about it. I didn't have time to sit down and do a proper segment, but now you're going to get a proper segment with all the updates and everything surrounding this. So as of right now, and actually that's not fair, this is really as of last night, here are the numbers. 700 killed in Israel, 2,200 injured, 413 killed in Gaza, 2,300 injured. So that's a total of 1,113 people killed and 4,500 injured. Now I'm going to tell you up front here, I expect these numbers to shoot up massively, especially on the Palestinian side.
Yeah.
So
Israel's just gonna level fucking every building and just kill a bunch of innocent people.
This is another huge piece of news here. The defense minister of Israel said the following, quote, "I have ordered a complete siege on the Gaza Strip. There will be no electricity, no food, no fuel. Everything is closed. We are fighting human animals, and we act accordingly."
Dude, that is insane. Holy fucking shit.
Now, needless to say, this is a disturbing comment. Look, I have no problem with you if you want to say that a Hamas terrorist who killed a citizen is, or civilians, I should say, women, children, etc. If you want to call them animals, hey man, fair enough, right? But there are 2 million people who live in Gaza, and they are not all Hamas. In fact, about half of them are children. And so to do a full medieval-style siege of Gaza and basically call them human animals, I mean, again, more on this later, but the rhetoric is getting flat-out genocidal. Wait until we get to what Nikki Haley said and what a Daily Caller writer said. But, okay, so how do we get to this point? Now, I should also say, there's, according to reports, there's about 100,000 Israeli troops who are ready to basically do a ground invasion of Gaza. And understand something, as of the recording of this segment, things are definitely subject to change. So, like, when this is recorded versus when this is uploaded, there's going to be a couple hours of a gap there. And, like...
No donating tellers, having gains, I'm out of the loop. Can you sum up, in a nutshell, what's the deal with Israel, Palestine, and Hamas? What's been your thoughts? Thanks. So, Hamas is a terrorist organization. One of their goals is to free Palestine under Israeli rule. Israel has apartheid policies against Palestinians. What ended up happening was Hamas perpetrated...
Hey VG. Sorry about the YouTube ban. So fucking stupid that happened. Hope Kick has been going okay and hope all is well.
Yeah, things are going pretty good on Kick. I'm going to keep streaming on here. Even once the YouTube ban's up, I'm going to do simultaneous streams, and I might do exclusive Kick streams. But Kick is a pretty nice platform. The thing I like about it is they have really good encoding software, so the quality is better than YouTube. But things are going well overall. Thanks for the donation, Training Tall. So, Hamas committed a really horrible terror attack against Israel. There was some sort of music festival, and they killed about 260 innocent Israeli civilians. They also took a bunch of hostages. Now Israel is responding by declaring war against Hamas. And it sounds like they just want to basically level all of Gaza, which is, again... basically this quarantined zone of Palestinians. So the real issue right now that people are worried about is Israel's just going to commit a fucking genocide basically against these Palestinians in Gaza. Thanks for the donation, though, New. Hope that brought you up to speed.
By the time this actually hits YouTube or hits the podcast circuit, the facts on the ground may have changed and may have gotten even more extreme and more severe, and more people may be dying, and the ground invasion could already be underway. So, all right, now let's get to the facts around this particular incident, and then we'll broaden it out to what led up to this incident, and then just the history of the region in general and how we got to this point. So this is in Axios. They say, death toll rises in Israel and Gaza as fighting rages. What to know? Hamas stunned the world when it launched a surprise air, land, and sea attack against cities across Israel in the most serious incursion against the country in decades. The Israeli military retaliated with heavy bombardment against the besieged Gaza Strip. At least 700 Israelis and 560 Palestinians have died. So this is their number as of an hour ago, I should say. Excuse me. And tens of thousands of others have been displaced in fighting that comes after a year of escalating violence in Jerusalem and the occupied West Bank. 9 Americans were killed in the Hamas attack, the State Department said on Monday. So we just learned that fact as well. At least 9 Americans are killed, and there are many people, many hostages here as well. Israeli officials said U.S. citizens were among the people militants took to Gaza and were holding hostage. The U.S. said it was working to verify those reports. So they continue here and say, they point out the Israeli defense minister, that quote I just gave you, we're going to do a complete siege, no electricity, no food, no fuel, and they called them human animals. The Israeli military said on Monday that control has been achieved in all the communities near the Gaza border, but warned there may still be Hamas militants in the area. So let me pause to point out, it took Israel a while to actually just secure Israel from the invasion. You would think that since they're so powerful and they have so much weaponry and they're so much more organized that they'd be able to handle that very quickly. Well, one of the things we learned is that a lot of the settlers, a lot of the IDF forces who normally are basically on the border of Gaza and Israel, they were actually moved to the West Bank to protect settlers there. And so that gave the opportunity for there to be a Hamas invasion through the Gaza border into Israel. And so yet again, in a roundabout way here, the settlers are causing colossal problems for Israel. So they say Palestinian militants also fired heavy barrages of rockets towards Israeli cities. The UN Humanitarian Office said on Monday that more than 123,000 Palestinians have been displaced after Israeli airstrikes targeted houses and apartment buildings in Gaza. So look, this happens after, or I should say, during every single Israeli offensive into Gaza is, they say, hey, if you're a civilian, get out of the way. But then, of course, their response is, well, where are they going to go? Basically,
They
Gaza
can't leave.
has 2 million people in it, and it's an open-air prison. It's the size of Washington, D.C., and
Yeah, they literally can't leave. They say civilians get out of the area, we're going to attack, and then they can't go anywhere. It literally is an open-air prison. Again, it's a fenced-off apartheid state.
Where are they supposed to go? Well, people are trying to find some sort of shelter, but, with indiscriminate bombing, it's hard to guarantee your safety. They say over 70,000 people have sought shelter in dozens of schools in densely populated Gaza, where movement is highly restricted, per the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees. Our school sheltering displaced families was directly hit, the UNRWA said late Sunday. So this is something we saw this in 2014 as well with Operation Protective Edge. You had the Israeli military attack basically a lot of the infrastructure in Gaza, but also they did bomb schools. And of course, their common refrain after they do it is they turn around and say, well, look, we had to do it because we think that Hamas weapons were stored there, and that's why we did it. Okay, so let's continue here. They say the following: the U.S. is sending additional equipment and resources, including munitions, to Israel. It's also moving its Ford Carrier Strike Group, which includes the USS.
What the U.S. should do is put economic sanctions on Israel and refuse any military aid until they repeal their apartheid policies. Then once they do that, fine, help them with, fighting Hamas. But until they get rid of the apartheid policies, including restricting those restrictions on Gaza, the U.S. should not send aid.
Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier to the Eastern Mediterranean to bolster regional deterrence efforts, the Pentagon said on Sunday. So, in other words, the U.S. is going to give them more weapons, give them more artillery, and then also we're sending a bunch of our warships there. And I think one of the broader concerns is they fear Hezbollah is going to be even more involved now. Hezbollah, of course, being the militants in Lebanon who support Hamas and the Palestinians. So they fear that. There's also a lot of talk now about Iran, of course, being directly involved and helping to fund this attack. And so a big concern now is how widespread will the war become? Is it going to be Lebanon versus Israel?
Reacted to this.
I shall, Dodo. Let me take a look.
Debate over pronouns that we hear about.
I'm going to be 80 years old tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. And what does it mean? I have never seen anything like this in my 80 years. I've seen a lot since the 1940s when I was born. And this is the worst. What do we mean pronouns? There's an X and Y chromosome. Are we going against science? I'm not a science student.
Yeah, there's a separation between sex and gender, so chromosomes or not, it doesn't fucking change the fact that there are, different genders, including non-binary genders.
Denier.
Okay, so were you a vaccine supporter?
Zero.
But science made the vaccines.
What science? Who made the science?
I mean, doctors.
Science that says there's stuff in this spike proteins and other things that are in these vaccines that are harmful to us. Why do we have?
Spike protein was modified so it doesn't cause the harm that the spike protein from the virus causes. So that's false. He clearly doesn't know how the fucking vaccine works.
Such a spike in myocarditis in young people. Why?
So are you? So that doesn't disqualify you from supporting Trump, who was really the godfather of the vaccine?
He did what anybody would do at the time. It came on quick. He tried to do the best that he could. I don't hold that against him.
Yet you think that the vaccines weren't science?
Zero. No.
But he supported them, and he's considered the godfather of the vaccine.
That's just an expression. I'm not buying it. I don't buy it.
Sure.
Let's talk about pronouns, which a lot of people are talking. Does that impact you at all? Do you care about that?
The spiritual side of me, God's word, and I'm a believer of the Bible. In his word, it tells you exactly what's right and wrong. They have to answer to him just as I do.
So you're going in to see Trump speak now. Do you see him as a good Christian?
Yeah, the rapist who said that women just let him, finger them and have sex with them and he can do whatever the hell he wants because he's rich and famous.
From what I know, yes.
What about social issues, pronouns, things like that? Social issues,
pronouns and stuff like she's a she and she's a she. Are you she or he? Thank you. Are you a she? Yep. I'm a he. That's what I think about it.
What if they said I'm a they?
I would say to they. Where were you born as? A they or a you? That's the real question. Chick with a or a chick with a pussy.
Pronouns. How does that impact you?
Either you got a or you don't. You know what I mean?
What is it about liberals in America that upsets you?
As far as liberals, I would venture to say just the ones I've spoken to, and I have, they have no clue. They deny that transgender things are going on. They deny it all.
What's the most dangerous thing happening in the country right now?
That the kids are switching their genital or for their sexual things in like grade school and stuff like that.
Do you think that's a lot of people that are doing
I wish this guy was like in a movie or something. He just looks so fucking odd.
it?
One's too many. So yeah, I
He
gotta
like
say
doesn't
yeah.
have a chin. It's all
The
neck
one-
You know,
and
not
then
even if
face.
the child, has a say in it. Just whatever the parent says or whatever the school does.
What is it that you would like to see him do if he were to win again to make America great again?
First thing, go to Ukraine and Russia and just say stop the shit. And probably undo a lot of this, like we're going to let an 8-year-old kid decide that they're not a boy or a girl.
Well, do you think
As if that's the biggest political issue right now. 8-year-old boy who wants to be a girl. Yeah. That's what people are voting for, dude. It's fucking crazy. Alright. Back to this.
Is it going to be also Iran versus Israel? In that scenario, the U.S. very clearly would jump in, and it would be the U.S. and Israel versus Lebanon and Iran. But then also, does it broaden out for the rest of the allies to jump in? So will Syria join in to help their ally, Iran? Will Russia and China join in to help, Iran? And then on the U.S. side, it's like, what? Will the U.S. and, European countries jump in on the side of Israel? And, when you look at the statements from a lot of these European governments, it's like they clearly are on the side of Israel. So how widespread will this become? It's a genuinely a very, very scary moment. And we've been talking about the potential of World War III through what's happening in Russia and Ukraine, but a lot of people might not realize that this is also another way it can snowball out of control and potentially get us into World War III. It genuinely is a very, very scary moment. So they continue and say there was a heavy Israeli military presence along Israel's border with Gaza on Monday. Hezbollah and Israel exchanged fire earlier Sunday after the Lebanese militant group fired rockets into northern Israel. So, Hezbollah is involved to one extent or another at this point. They continue.
Oh my god, how could humans, supposedly the most intelligent species on the planet, be so stupid?
Well, not all of us are terribly intelligent, Dodo. Thanks for the donation, sir.
Here, the conflict is unfolding amidst a deep political crisis in Israel over Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government's judicial overhaul, which has weakened the country's...
I'm just gonna go get a drink. I will be right back. Yeah.
military, economy, and society. So let me just pause to reflect on this here for a second. Of course, Netanyahu wanted to basically take some power away from the Supreme Court and give it more to the Knesset and himself. And this is widely unpopular in Israel. There's a lot of dissent over this question in Israel, and there were gigantic protests over this. And a point that a lot of people are making is, one of Netanyahu's main arguments for being in power is, I'm going to keep you safe and secure. But clearly, he took his eye off the ball. Likud took their eye off the ball, and they were so concerned with their judicial reforms that, this was a colossal intelligence failure in Israel for this wide scale of an invasion to unfold, and they had no idea. I mean, huge, huge failure. And again, some of the speculation is, well, you were so obsessed with your judicial reform and basically getting more power for yourself in the Knesset and weakening the Supreme Court, this is what happened. Now, also, I should point out, remember, guys, the Supreme Court in Israel, it's a little different from how it works here. Here in the U.S., as of right now, the Supreme Court is a very conservative force in American politics. In Israel, the Supreme Court is actually a moderating force. So they've really pumped the brakes on some of the more extreme, ultra-right-wing, settler colonialist stuff. They've pumped the brakes on some of the Likud stuff. So that's, and then you take power away from them. So one of the checks and balances on the extremism of the right-wingers there is now gone. So, and now with an actual hot war breaking out, are we going to be put in a position where now there's no brakes at all in the Israeli car? So there's a lot of things to be fearful of here. So Axios continues, U.S.-led negotiations were underway for a historic peace agreement between Israel and Saudi Arabia, and is jeopardized by the fighting. The normalization of relations between the two countries had been a top Biden administration priority. So Saudi Arabia released a statement after the Hamas attack and basically was like, we're going to blame Israel for this. And so whatever sort of movement there was towards a peace agreement with Saudi Arabia kind of fell apart here. So they say this is how it happened. Hamas fired thousands of rockets at Israeli cities early on Saturday. Hamas militants then broke through the border barrier between Gaza and Israel. They entered southern Israel with pickup trucks and occupied Israeli villages and towns close to the border, killing soldiers and civilians while taking others hostage. Hamas took a significant number of Israelis hostage. Israeli Defense Forces International spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Kornurkas told CNN. The Israeli military didn't respond.
New Donatillers, thank you for the summary. If I didn't watch your streams, I wouldn't know much about anything, really. Just go about my day doing my own things, like watching anime. Then bad news happens. Is it a bad thing that I don't keep up and don't care? It's probably a good thing to know more than to know less. Things that, whatever knowledge you have tends to help you out in funny ways, so I would say you probably want to stay as informed as you can. But thanks for the donation, New. Appreciate it.
On to the initial attack for several hours. Now, by the way, I should point this out. Israel has a track record of doing huge prisoner exchanges where, like, if there's one IDF official who's captive in Gaza, they'll release like hundreds or even in some cases thousands of Palestinian prisoners to get the one military official. So they have a track record of doing that, and it'll be interesting to see, especially now with Americans involved as well. I'm sure they're going to be working on trying to make some sort of a deal and maybe freeing a giant number of Palestinian prisoners at the same time. And to keep it real, if it wasn't for the hostage situation, I think it's very likely that we would see some of the worst bombing we've ever seen happen in Gaza. I mean, like I said, Operation Protective Edge 2014, there were 1,300 deaths. At least 500 of them were children. Between 63% and 80% civilians were killed in Gaza. And that would be child's play compared to what might happen now and what almost definitely would happen if there weren't hostages as well. So I think there will be a line of communication open to try to make some sort of a deal to get hostages out of there. How Israel responded. Israel has retaliated with airstrikes, with Netanyahu saying the enemy will pay an unprecedented price. Hundreds of thousands of reservists have been mobilized. Netanyahu told Palestinian residents to leave areas where militants were located, saying Israel will turn all Hamas hiding places into rubble. We will operate everywhere and with all of our force. This war will take time and it will be difficult, but we will win. So what did Hamas say about the attack? So the Hamas spokesperson told Al Jazeera that the group wants, quote, the international community to stop atrocities in Gaza against Palestinian people, our holy sites like Al-Aqsa. All these things are the reason behind starting this battle, he said. More than 2 million Palestinians live in Gaza, an area roughly twice the size of Washington, D.C., which has been under a strict blockade by Israel, backed by Egypt, for 16 years. Violence in the occupied West Bank has escalated this year, including an attack on Palestinians in the village of Huwara in February. Israel's far-right government has moved to expand housing in Israeli settlements in the West Bank, which most of the international community considers illegal under international law.
Yeah.
Violence and escalating tensions have often centered around a holy site for both Jews and Muslims in Jerusalem that is home to the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And so then they just get into what other countries have said. Of course, the U.S. came out and said we stand by Israel, as of course we were going to do. But the European Commission president came out and said something. Iran, of course, jumps in on the side of Hamas, et cetera, et cetera. So we know what happened with this war breaking out and the Hamas invasion, et cetera. And we just went through all the facts on that. But the Washington Post had a phenomenal article where they lay out what happened just before this, right? So like the year leading into this attack, what went down, what was the escalation that led to the point we are now. So in the Washington Post, the title is, "What's Behind the Violence in Israel and Gaza? Here's What to Know." Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the nation was at war Saturday after Palestinian gunmen infiltrated Israel from Gaza, launching attacks on troops and civilians in the most brazen militant operation in years. Israel responded with air and artillery strikes in Gaza, where the population was bracing for a wider campaign. They go on to bring up some of the casualty numbers. All right, let's get to... So here we go. In September, there were already growing fears of all-out conflict. They say just last month, Israel and Hamas, the Palestinian militant group that rules Gaza, appeared to be on the brink of war. Israeli border agents found explosive material hidden in a shipment of jeans and halted all exports from the Gaza Strip. Hamas put its forces on high alert and held field exercises with other armed groups, including Palestinian Islamic Jihad. The drills included practice rocket launches, ambushes, and the storming of settlements. Local media in Gaza reported in an apparent preview of the attacks launched on Saturday. Hamas also allowed Palestinians to begin protesting again along the separation fence between Israel and Gaza, where young demonstrators have faced off against Israeli soldiers. On September 13th, 5 Palestinians were killed when they attempted to detonate an explosive at the barrier wall. Quote, "It has been quiet, but it's beginning to boil." Bassem Naim, head of Hamas's political and international relations department, said in an interview with the Washington Post in September, "There is a lot of pressure under the water." So here's, they lay out that during the summer, there were a bunch of military raids and retaliatory attacks. The tensions in Gaza followed a violent summer in the West Bank, where tit-for-tat attacks flared between Palestinian militants on one side and Israeli forces and Jewish settlers on the other. Israel staged multiple military raids in the city of Jenin, where it said militants were planning attacks on Israeli troops and civilians. On June 19th, Israeli forces raided Jenin and killed at least 5 Palestinians, deploying Apache helicopters in the West Bank for the first time since the Second Intifada, or Palestinian uprising, which lasted from 2000 to 2005. The next day, Hamas gunmen opened fire at a hummus restaurant outside Eli, an Israeli settlement in the West Bank, killing 4 Israelis. And on June 21st, hundreds of Israeli settlers rampaged through Palestinian villages, including Termus Aya, where one person was killed, torching homes and cars, as well as shooting at residents, according to Termus Aya Mayor Lafi Adib. Israel then also carried out its first drone strike in the West Bank since 2006, killing 3 suspected militants. On July 3rd, Israel's military launched its biggest operation there in more than 2 decades, staging an air and ground attack on a refugee camp in Jenin with roughly 1,000 soldiers. Israeli officials said they were targeting a militant command center in an operation that marked the start of an extensive counterterrorism effort that the Israeli Defense Forces said would continue indefinitely. At least 8 people were killed and 80 injured, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. So when we get to spring violence flares in Gaza and the West. Politics knows is that the Israeli settlers have been more brazen, more extreme, taken more territory, and there's the routine, raising of Palestinian villages, just stealing their land from them without a second thought. And so that also breeds incredible hatred and resentment, and has helped feed the tit for tat back and forth. And so now you know what's happening now with the war. Now you know what led up to the war. All the
said this before. Netanyahu's responsible for a lot of these attacks. Him allowing for these illegal settlements continue, like he just outright has admitted it. He wants to enact an apartheid against Palestinians. This shit is what really leads to these crazy terror attacks and all this violence. And like the fucked up thing is he uses this to justify the apartheid. It's really retarded. Like the U.S. should just sanction Israel. They're never gonna fucking do it. But the U.S. should sanction Israel until they get rid of their apartheid policies, just like how we did in South Africa.
Individual incidents that led up to the war. But look, I'm going to do what most shows are not going to do, which is let's also...
How much psilocybin mushrooms did you take when you had that infinity cum story? It was about 7 to 8 grams, but it was 7 to 8 grams of white penis envy mushrooms, which are considered to be the most potent strain of psilocybin mushrooms. So, it's a lot.
Go to the history of Israel and Palestine and see how we even got to this point with this war and also the preliminary issues leading to this war. So this is a great video here, very objective, very fair, very balanced from Vox, where they lay out for us. We're going to start at the World War II period and post, the Holocaust, where sentiment was growing that, hey man, a bunch of Jews were exterminated. They want to be safe. Maybe we should grant them a homeland. Maybe the international community should say, okay, here's a Jewish homeland. And of course, it's understandable after there was a Holocaust. Like, hey, they need to make sure they're protected, so they want their own homeland. The sentiment is very clear and understandable, but also at the same time, it was like, let's give them a homeland. And oh yeah, by the way, this place where Palestinians happen to be, it's like, we're just going to use this area and not really care what the people in the region say. So you could already see like the genesis of a long-term conflict, which is how Israel was created in the first place. So let's dive into it, and we'll...
This was hugely controversial.
Right, not only the now genocidal rhetoric.
Do you think that stuff like this means that the world will obviously be going to an end soon?
I don't think the world is going to come to an end. Things can get far shittier before that happens. You should probably read Warhammer. But thanks for the donation, Dodo. Appreciate it. Midnight Crash 2, don't need to tell us whoa, fucking brutal. Let me see. Dude. Like, what the fuck was that guy doing? Holy shit, he was coming in hot. I gotta play the Deja Vu music. Dodo Nutty Tellers, oh my god, what is with irresponsible drivers these days? I know, dude. I know, a lot of fucking morons. I really have no fucking idea what this guy could have been thinking. How do you fuck up that bad? Imagine, like, pulling somebody over on the opposite fucking roadway and then having to deal with some idiot coming in hot from the, like, the other side. Like, holy shit, dude. That is pretty retarded. Yeah, that is dumb as fuck, bro. Well, thanks for the donation, Dodo. Suspect gets shot after firing gun at Orange County deputies.
Nada va a ocurrir. Solamente vamos a aclarar la situación. Pero si tú sales con un arma, van a sentirse. No salga con el arma. Porque van a pensar que le estás amenazando.
Right in the middle of the backyard.
It's red. Wait, hold! Don't do it! Shoot.
That was remarkably stupid of that man. Makes you think you have to be, like, fucking mentally ill to do that. Unless he wanted to, like, have suicide by cop, I don't know. This was me at the range today. Not a bad grouping, I would say.
One bullseye. Good.
Yeah, that was fun. Let's see if Sam Sulek has any vlogs.
Alright, I know it's not the same hat. Placed by just a freaking sleep in a little more. And then I pushed the cardio back into 3 extra plates on the stack and was just kind of repping it out. Here I'll just do the stack a little bit lighter actually because this machine's a bit lighter. But instead of doing just a heavy move as much weight around as possible kind of movement, I think I'll do some slower controlled squeezing reps with the rope.
He trains very heavy.
So with anything one-sided, you know, use your weaker side first. For me, the right tricep's lacking a little bit behind the left one, so I can do, you know, however many reps in the right arm, and I'll match that to the left. So if I only get 20 here, but I could get 25 on the left, I'm still going to cut the left off at 20.
Okay.
For a long time. This Y used to have this as a dedicated machine. Really, the whole point.
He is on all the fucking steroids.
We'll get just a touch leaner, and then we can finally get back to the part I'm excited for, the freaking bulk.
Jesus.
I got breath much
bro,
bigger.
He's looking freaky as
the arms
fuck,
get with
bro.
a pump versus without it. So.
Kind of makes me want to start taking steroids so I can get like crazy fucking veins and shit like that. And just look thicker. Yeah, I don't know. Would it be worth it? Actually, I think I'm doing pretty good without gear. I think I might stay natty. I think I'm keeping up with Sam, at least in terms of the arms.
Ooh. Even just straightening my arms all the way out like that, I can feel my biceps getting tight. Oh, yeah. Lat spread with the arm pump is probably one of my freaking favorites.
Yeah. Not that much of a difference. I'm doing all right for a natty, I'd say.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty much all I got for freaking arm poses. So, 8 sets, reasonable intensity, good burn.
Yeah, steroids are vegan.
I'm freaking pumped. I'll bring a tape measure in one of these days. We can do a unpumped cold measurement, and then, a pumped measurement. We can see just how much bigger the arms get with a pump versus without it. So, whew. How do I... What the hell? Oh, no, here we go. I could not remember the way that I freaking hold my hands when I do this little flex. Whew. Whew. All right, over the next 3 weeks, we'll get up to peak arm vascularity. Still a bit more to come, even though there are some veins poking out.
Thoughts on his training style? I think if most people trained like him, they'd probably get hurt. And I don't think they'd be able to progress that well. Sam has crazy genetics and he's on steroids. I think if most people trained like him, they'd have trouble progressing, for one thing. You'd probably just see a lot of plateaus, stagnation, shortened mesocycle lengths, and you'd likely get hurt.
Oh, we'll get just a touch leaner, and then we can finally get back to the part I'm excited for, the freaking bulk. I got breakfast today, and they were serving cinnamon rolls, and I could just see them through the little glass window next to me. I was getting tempted. Not that I would get one, of course, but maybe don't flaunt it right in front of my face. instead I had a
I have not had any cravings for sweets in the longest time. Think part of it's the meds I'm on, but yeah, I just have not had cravings. All right. I don't know if I'll watch that one.
If advertising has dropped by...
This is a set of or two.
It's Ryan being insane. I think he had a few insane videos on, let's see, 2 days left. Sweet. Pretty sure Hamza had some dumb videos lately on his Adonis school or some shit.
What in tarnation is going on here?
Let me take a look thee then now. Oh my god, what is this? Oh my god. That's a cat ghost. That is a nice orange kitty. Oh my god. Thanks for the donation, then now. Appreciate it. Ugh. What's my go-to snack when I do crave sweets? Well, I always like a good vanilla sprinkled donut. I also like vanilla cupcakes, chocolate chip cookies, and peanut butter cookies are also really nice. So those are usually my go-tos, and peanut butter cups are nice too. Let's see. From friend zone to ravishing love, escaping the friend zone. I will tell you right now, there is no escaping the friend zone. If a chick only wants to be friends, that means she just doesn't like you that way. Like, unless you make extremely radical changes to the way you look or the way you act or something, or her preferences change dramatically, or she becomes a single mom who's desperate for money, guess what? She just ain't gonna like you that way. Let's watch that one first.
Being stuck in the friend zone is all about a lack of respect from yourself.
What? Oh my god! This guy's insane. If a woman doesn't want to have sex with you, that means she doesn't respect you? Are you fucking nuts? Yeah, because you can't just, like, not be interested in somebody. This guy is so fucking delusional, it's insane. He says the stupidest, dumb fucking shit I could ever fucking imagine. Holy fuck, what a moron.
And from the girl. Both of you don't respect you. That's why you're stuck in the friend zone. The man doesn't respect himself, and that's why he's willing to play this like little small dick, low testosterone move of like, I'll pretend to be her friend. I don't actually give a fuck about her, even though you think you do. Like, you know, you pretend like you really care about her. You just want to fuck. You just want to date. The man has no respect for himself to put himself in this situation just because he's not able to admit to himself that he just wants like what he...
He's not even explaining the friend zone properly. Like, he doesn't even understand the terms he's using. The friend zone is when you're trying to have a romantic relationship with a woman, but she doesn't put you in that romance box. She puts you in, like, the friend box. So whenever you try to make romantic advances, like, again, she'll just basically say, I just want to be friends. That's what the friend zone is. And it doesn't have anything to do with you just wanting to fuck. Like, you might want a legitimate romantic relationship with somebody. It's just that they're not interested in it, and they're only willing to be friends with you. He's adding, like, this weird extra context about how, oh, you just want to have sex with her, and you don't even want to date, like, you just want to fuck. Like, no, that's not what the friend zone is.
He wants the data, he wants to maybe sleep with her, he wants to see if they're compatible for a relationship, and instead you take this almost fake, inauthentic, safe, comfortable position in her mind of like, oh well, you know, like I really care about her, and yeah, we are really good friends, and you know, like maybe she'll see this one day, months from now. You know, I haven't.
Like, I mean, that's not even necessarily how a lot of this stuff works out. What might end up happening is you do make romantic advances, and because you're not an autistic retard, you can pick up on the vibe, and you'll like ask her out on a date or something, and she'll say like, "Oh, I'm gonna be busy that night, but tomorrow night I'm hanging out with a few of my friends. Like, you could come along." Like, she'll basically say she doesn't want to be with you alone. So whenever you do meet together, you're with other people. Like, things like that can fucking end up working out, and you just pick up on the vibe and you realize, okay, she's just not into me. That can happen, but like what a lot of dudes do is, yeah, they fall into this idea that if I just hang around long enough, maybe she'll actually develop a romantic interest, which doesn't fucking happen, because again, if she could even develop a romantic interest in you, she would have done it before.
Being in like the friend zone for fucking years, but when I do think back about it, and I keep seeing flashes in my mind right now, I'm seeing for some reason like an Indian guy who's like, you know, met this girl in university or something, and he's just fucking coping of like speaking to her with like a soft voice, pretending that he actually cares about her, when if he just sat here and thought to himself like, you know what, we don't even have that much in common. The only reason I kind of like hang out with her and kind of follow her around the class, even though I don't believe I'm following her around, it's just because I don't have the confidence to literally look her in the eyes and say, let's go for a date. And the reason why I don't have that confidence is because I am so scared of her response, because if she says no, it will shatter the dreams that I've had with her. It will shatter those imaginations that I've been playing in my mind whilst I cuddle my pillow or masturbate whilst I think about her. Most men are living in this pure like fantasy mode in their mind, and they're not willing to just face reality and have it break in front of them. And I don't blame you for that.
I don't know where he gets the idea most men. Like, I would imagine most dudes aren't autistic retards, and they can pick up on whether or not a woman has an interest in them, and they'll just move on if they realize they don't. I'd love to see data that most men are like dumbass fucking simps who will play this like waiting game and basically orbit around some girl in the hopes that they'll get a crumb of pussy one day.
Because it is so comforting to be stuck in this like fantasy land. For every girl that I had a crush on when I was younger, I used to come home, get into bed, take off my clothes, and literally just cuddle my pillow thinking about her, thinking that we were
Yes, that's called being a teenager.
together, we were, you know, like cuddling in bed, and we were full of love, and I would literally kiss my pillow as if it was her.
Again, that's called being a teenager.
It was so comforting to do that. I knew it was a bad habit as well. When I first started watching like, you know, these like dating guides and stuff on YouTube, maybe I was like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, stupid. When you're a teenager, your hormones are through the fucking roof, and your emotional feelings are just magnified because of that. And that's a normal thing to fucking do. So if you're not dating anybody, and I think at this point he was like still a virgin and shit too, Like, yeah, you're going to be so fucking desperate for attention that you're going to do stuff like that. Let's see. Fruits over carcass donated $2. This bitch is heading for a disaster. Let me see.
I eat nearly 60 pounds of meat a month, and 1 pound of that comes from liver. Liver is a superfood powerhouse. It's got nearly every single vitamin and
I hope she gets torn to fucking pieces by a pit bull. I know who she is. I couldn't give a fuck. I've challenged her to a debate, and she gave me this, like, bullshit passive-aggressive, "Oh, I'm really appreciative for you reaching out, but I'm not interested." I just told her to go fucking kill herself. But thanks for the donation. Oh, wait, you gave me a few other links. Also, Zerka needs to lay off the coke. He also said he would smash her when she was 17. Yeah,
Oh,
you're gonna do it?
No, like, what are you talking about? Why do you
It's
like
their
always
first dare. I'm daring you to suck my cock to see if you're like about it. Come suck.
You didn't even
Mario's-
say truth or dare. What if
Okay,
I wanted truth?
or dare?
Truth.
Are you sexually aroused by me at any time of the day?
No. Stop. Why do you make me so...
I don't know why
No.
you're so fucking guilty.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I promise I do not.
Your turn. Your turn.
Happy birthday, boy.
Happy birthday, Jack.
Thank you. Okay, your turn. Go ahead.
Truth or dare?
I think I'll go with truth.
True.
Happy birthday.
You actually think I'm attracted to you. You actually think that?
I don't think you're that rare that you're the first woman. Like, if I'm known for getting girls, you're a girl.
Hey, thank you for that $50 donation. I appreciate it.
For this Jesus Christ.
No, I'll never be too old to be a pedo. Are you 20 years old? When did you lose your V card?
When I was like 17.
It's not bad. Can work with that. Just gotta build a time machine.
We know you want to suck his cock, you stupid bitch.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
It's a little bit of a funny statement to make. Zerka makes a lot of inappropriate jokes about pedophilia. He is a degenerate, though, so there's probably a level of honesty to it. Thanks for the donation, though. Fruits over carcass. Appreciate it.
I almost felt like guilty for doing it, but it just felt so comfortable. But when you build up this massive fantasy of the girl that you want to be with, as often happens when the guy is stuck in the friend zone, you start to like really pedestalize this girl. You put her like above you. You put her as this shining prize that you're just treating almost like a celebrity that you're worshipping. And how's it going for you? There's a reason why you click.
So this is sort of right, what he's saying. You should never put somebody on a pedestal.
Dale provides minty commentary to Lenny's recent comments. Sorry for only sending you Lenny's original video last time. This is Mentia.
Alright, I'll take a look at that in a second. Thanks for the donation, niggas in Paris. Yeah, so you should never put somebody on a pedestal. Just because you like somebody, it doesn't mean they're better than you. And when you do that, you're, Thank you for that, 9014. Excellent spam as always. Appreciate the donation. Yeah, when you put somebody on a pedestal, it lowers your own self-esteem. It can make you seem awkward and desperate around the other person. Basically, it doesn't improve your chances with somebody, and it only makes you feel worse. So never put anybody on a pedestal. Somebody isn't better than you just because they're pretty or you like them a lot.
So we're going to listen to a little bit of Lenny's warning to me.
That's what I do. That's my job.
Wait, whoa, stop the tape. What job? You don't have a job. You're unemployed. You live off your mom and your sister's checks. So, okay, continue.
You recognize cookie-cutter activities in myself and others and in society in general, as that is the way of the Antichrist.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop the tape. First of all, Lenny, you can't be talking about God. You've had another man's penis in your mouth. So, when you stand before God, he's going to look at you. He's going to show you your life. It's going to come up and it's going to be like, yep, that's a dude. Sorry, depart from me. I never knew you. He's going to cast you into the lake of fire. You'll burn in hell for that one, buddy.
Not on value.
So, first of all, never heard of her.
Hamza isn't open. He's just a fucking lying jackass.
Is that what I'm doing?
He makes shit
Getting
up.
people to purchase emotions? God, you're such an idiot.
And generally women and certain subgroups of minorities have always been associated with thinking and acting on emotion. And they call that thinking with the limbic system.
Oh, is that what it is?
Which is a very reptilian part of the brain.
No way.
Of pleasure reward.
Oh, is that what I'm doing?
And usually a sign of refinement, intelligence, and advanced civilization has been the ability of one person to control that limbic part of the brain, not act on emotion. And men in particular, that was, were always a level-headed, think things through type of person.
Well, you obviously didn't think none of this through. You're just going off spewing this stupid, ridiculous rhetoric because you're jealous of what I have and jealous of my life and you're a failure. So.
Alright, this isn't particularly exciting, but some of it was funny. Thanks again, niggas in Paris.
On this video because you know that your current strategy isn't working. You were looking for some kind of like wake-up call. I understand how hard this is going to be, but like the moment that you actually get some respect for yourself, you'll stop interacting with this woman. This is a very difficult thing to do, but the reason why your life fucking sucks right now is because you have this lack of respect, where you're putting yourself into this situation inauthentically, where you're not making your intentions clear, and worst of all, you're like sat down next to this girl, next to her friends, not even having a good time, full in your mind, not present, overthinking how you should like, look around and, like say something to her or something. You're not even having a good time. You've literally put your own...
Here's the easy solution to all of this. Ask to eat her ass. If she says no, then you kind of know how things will go from there. If she says yes, then you're in. So, yeah, just skip all this. Just ask to eat her ass. Ugh.
Mental health below the possibility of what? Of hopefully ejaculating with this girl, hopefully being able to go on a date. The moment you have some respect for yourself, you look her in the eyes and you'll tell her what you want from her, you'll tell her your intentions, you'll make it clear, you'll ask her basically like a yes or no question, and when she says no, which of course she probably is going to do because
Nudity tellers, if someone isn't better than you because of the way they look, then why do people use their looks, financial, and social status to claim they're better than so? What really makes someone the better person? Whatever the fuck you want. It's entirely subjective, so whatever you want it to be. Thanks for the donation, New.
Because you've come off as like a massive chump. Then you let things go. Then you stop texting her. Then you stop sitting down next to her and her fucking friends, pretending that they're your friends as well. You stop wasting your time, like, navigating your dating life like a chump because you're fucking tired of it. I remember how awful this experience is like navigating your dating life like this, where you have no confidence or security in yourself. You can lie to yourself and think that you're confident because you've been wearing like better shirts that you tuck into your pants recently. But you have so much fear inside of you, and that's why you're stuck in the friend zone.
Dude, imagine thinking you're like feeling more confident because you tuck your shirt into your pants. What the fuck? Like,
because you've known, like even before this video, that this wasn't the right dynamic. You've known that this makes you feel bad. You know that you're not even attracting her, even though you're kind of deluding yourself to think that hopefully it'll be there. The most red-pilling thing about all this is like, you've been trying to like, you know, get closer to this girl, like, you know, build things up, get to know each other more and everything for a while. She walks to the shop and ends up building more attraction with a guy who walks past her in 5 seconds than she will with you in 5 months. And you don't want to accept that fact. But there's light at the end of this tunnel. Because you can be that guy. You can be the guy who's living his life, who's...
well, I mean, the issue is just not accepting rejection. So if you just accept the fact that some people aren't into you, then yeah, you can just move on.
Pursuing his goals, who's built himself up, who's, you know, improving his mental health so he's not fucking mind wandering all the time, who's working on a good business.
What shooting range did you go to? I went to range 719 in Kitchener and the instructor was right next to me and loaded everything, which kinda sucked. Did they just let you rent the gun and buy ammo? Cheers. When does your ban end?
So I went with a friend, and it's a range that's only accessible to members, but you can bring a friend. And there has to be somebody like one person kind of observing everything on the range to make sure everything's safe. But other than that, as long as you abide by range rules, you're all good. So I loaded my own ammo and all that crap. And the friend of mine, he brought all the ammo with him. But and it was his guns too. But thanks for the donation, Kenny. Oh yeah, and it was the Range Rover in Stouffville. What was it called? Target Sports Canada. That's what it was called in Stouffville. Thanks for the donation, Kenny. Appreciate it. And my ban ends in 2 days.
Who's providing for his family. You can be that guy who's super disciplined and productive and purposeful. And you're walking through the shops, the store, and your eye contact, you know, gazes onto a girl, and she builds this attraction with you more than you've done with this girl in 5 months. It starts with respect for yourself. It starts with, like, you know, thinking to yourself, I want something better than this. I don't want this to be like my sort of like dating relationship status, that like I like this girl who doesn't like me. There's a chapter in the book, The Way of the Superior Man, which says, choose a woman who chooses you. The relationship can only work.
Well, that is a little weird. Women are too fucking, like, they're pussies. They're never going to, like, initiate and talk to you. Women are too fucking spineless to do that. But being charitable, I think what's meant by that is you should only, like, involve yourself in women that show interest in you. Like, you can initiate, make the first move, but if she doesn't show interest in you, you should probably not waste your time.
Look, if she chooses you, and quite frankly, if she wants you more than you want her, that is usually the best relationship dynamic, is specifically when the woman wants the man more than he wants her.
I don't know why that's the best relationship dynamic. You'd think roughly equal attraction, would be ideal.
What does the man want more than anything? His progress, his goals, his mission, his purpose.
No, what a man wants more than anything is what that individual person wants. Just because you're a man, it doesn't mean you have certain preferences. Your preferences are your own preferences.
Like, this thing that we work hard for. The reason why you're treating yourself with a lack of respect, or the reason why she's not very much attracted to you, even though you keep thinking that she might be because she replies back to your text messages, is because you're literally sacrificing the most important thing for a man, which is his mission, the thing that he works hard on. Maybe it's studying, maybe it's your business, maybe it's your career, whatever it is. It's like our work is usually the most important thing for us. When you're sacrificing that and you're not even present in class anymore, and you're skipping your business work and you're sending her a
Women don't initiate because it puts them in a less dominant position in a social situation. No, women don't initiate because they're fucking pussies. Simple as that. They're too scared to actually talk. And to be honest, again, it's so weird. Men are always painted as being socially awkward, not as sociable. Women are the ones who are socially fucking retarded. Watch women try to, do what dudes have to do, where they go up to random strangers and try to start a conversation. Women, look fucking retarded, okay? Dudes can come off sometimes as maybe sleazy or nervous or a little awkward. Women look fucking retarded when they do that shit. So, no, the reason women don't initiate, at least most of the time, is because they fucking can't. They're too scared to begin with, and they don't have the social skills to fucking do it.
messages fast and all this bullshit. You're waking up and seeing if she's replied instead of getting into deeper work with your studies or your business. She cannot have attraction for you because you're prioritizing the relationship over your purpose, which is an act of
That is literally retarded. That is the dumbest shit I have ever fucking heard. As if women want you to prioritize your job over them. Yeah, that's an attractive quality. You're a fucking moron.
Feminine energy. It's an act of
By the way, this is a guy who literally spends, in his own admission, maybe an hour per week on his fucking YouTube videos, and that's his main source of income. And then he's talking about how women find it attractive when you focus on your work. You only work an hour a week! What?
weak masculinity. It's an act of fear. I've been there so many times. This is why I'm so passionate right now, because I wish I could get all of the guys of the world who are these chumps. No offense, but you are absolutely a chump if you're watching this video. And I hope you could you can get pissed off and think, oh man, this guy's such an asshole. But I'm literally the only.
Don't worry, Hamza. We're only watching you ironically. You're the fucking chump here. What a fucking idiot.
Fucking person here who's on your side. She's not on your side, and the worst thing is you're not even on your own side. You're on her side. It's you and her versus you. There's no respect to being...
The awkward long pauses when his little peanut brain is trying to think of the next stupid fucking thing to say. When he just runs out of ideas for a few seconds.
Given to you, not from her and not from you. And she's not a bad person at all. Don't twist my words. She is not a bad person for this. She simply just isn't into you. She's just not into you. You can cope all you want, but when a woman is into you, it is so fucking clear. You can keep lying to yourself and think you're getting closer. She replies to your text messages, so that seems like this positive feedback loop. Girls will reply to text messages from absolute great.
Okay, to be fair, it's not always obvious when a girl's into you, because again, a lot of women are fucking weird, awkward tards, and you might... This has happened to me before. I've asked girls out, they've said no, they're too busy or they're not interested, and then their friends will come up to me and then say, why don't you ask her out? And I'm like, I did, and she said no. And then they'd be like, really? Because she, like, fucking talks about wanting to date you all the time. Like, girls do that. They're, like, so you will run into, like, weird, socially awkward fucking chicks who, like, are afraid of you or something, even though they like you, and they'll do stupid shit like that, like, not go out on a date, or they'll, like, try to avoid talking to you or something. So it's not always obvious, but, like, yeah, if you're talking to a girl who isn't a fucking moron or something, should be fairly obvious, but it's not always obvious.
Gremlins, from goblins. Girls, a lot of girls are just mentally sick and they fucking love getting notifications and text messages. And so they'll reply to guys that they never, like, know, that they know they'll never meet, they'll never date, they'll never even kiss or hold hands. And that's another thing, bro, that the concept of just fucking holding hands is so interesting when it comes to, like, friend zoning and stuff, because the amount of times that I've heard from guys who get friend zoned of, like, them literally just trying to hold this girl's hand and her, like, almost like with a fishy hand, like, you know, like wet kind of slimy hand, like, pull it away. I remember, like, hearing this story so many times of literally just trying to get a little bit of fucking intimacy, a little bit of, like, touch, and she pulls away because she doesn't like you. You don't need to think to yourself, oh no, because she doesn't like touching, she doesn't like this. No, she doesn't like it from you. And I know that I sound like a fucking asshole.
This video could have been 7 seconds long. All you have to say is, if she's not showing interest, move on.
I'm saying this, but I'm saying this to be on your side. Because if she respected you, if she was into you, this wouldn't happen. It would be very clear. So many guys just waste months of their life pursuing this girl who doesn't even want them back. You know what happens when you pursue your goals? I'm trying to just do a quick little stunt. This is a three-story villa that I just moved into. Now, I'm in a relationship, but you want to know what, like, my dating...
By moved into, he means it's a hotel that he's gonna stay in for like a week or two.
Life is like, and not dating, but like in attraction is life these days. It's literally on easy mode. Every, like, public place that I go to, the amount of, like, attraction that I can see that I'm getting from women, the amount of women who are looking over, holding eye contact, smiling.
Oh god. If women are looking at you and smiling, it's because they're trying to hold in laughter. Oh my god, what a fucking moron.
Approaching me, asking me for, like, opportunities and everything. Because for the last few years, instead of being a chump, I actually worked hard on my goals and I've been able to build, like, a great level of success. And you don't need to, like, think, oh, whoa, he's going to try and scam me. Like, you know, he's a rich guy talking about something.
Buddy, you're literally a scam artist. You made a fucking... living off of YouTube, and now you're doing the stupid Adonis School bullshit, where you convince insecure, retarded teenagers who hate pretty girls to give you $500 so they can, like, literally learn nonsense in a stupid class run by your fucking brother. You're a fucking scam artist, and you're talking about being fucking successful. It's just idiotic.
There's nothing that I sell that you could afford. No offense. That's probably a bit hurtful, but whatever. But, like, I'm here right now. My girl's sleeping in the other room. It's like, it's 5 a.m. right now, but I woke up at like 3 or half 3. My cameraman, Scott, best friend, he's in the little side house. I want you to think right now of...
What do you mean? This doesn't make any fucking sense. So he's traveling with his fucking girlfriend and brings a third wheel around with him to invade in his privacy, and he has a cameraman. Have you seen his fucking videos? He films these shitty videos on his fucking cell phone. What do you mean a fucking cameraman? Is that the fucking guy you pay to have sex with your girlfriend? Like, what the fuck is going on here? This makes no sense. Cameraman, he's literally been, like, just shooting shitty videos on his fucking cell phone for the past fucking year, and now he's talking about a cameraman who lives with him and his girlfriend? This guy is a cuck. He's paying somebody to fucking follow him around and fuck his girlfriend. What the fuck is he doing up at 5 a.m. when his girlfriend's in bed in the other fucking room? This makes no sense.
Hi VG. I hope that you are doing great tonight. I know when I saw this headline, it was giving me more confidence in knowing that Biden will win.
This is going to fuck Trump. RFK Jr. campaign insider says independent run will help Biden. When Mediate reported on Friday that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., long shot candidate challenging President Biden for the Democratic nomination, is planning to run as an independent, a debate erupted. Will the defection prove more damaging to the Republican frontrunner, former President Trump, than to the incumbent? Interesting. Well, that's actually good to hear that RFK is going to run as an independent. That is good news for Biden. He is more likely to win now. Thanks for the donation, Bend Over. Appreciate it.
I should keep my voice down, but I want you to think right now of how easy it would be and how much more fun it would be navigating your dating life when you're the guy who's successful, who owns like a sick place, or if you're traveling, you can rent out like some awesome villa like I'm in right now. You can throw like nice events and parties. Think about how much like your life could be improved, and then also how like valuable you would seem to the girl that you're into when you can message her and say like, oh, I'm having this social event in my villa in this fancy place that's really, really nice.
Oh my god. Just brilliant dating advice. Rely on things like money to entice women. I wonder what women are going to end up showing interest in you when your whole dating strategy is, hey, would you like to come like and hang out in my villa? And later I was gonna like go out on my like $5 million yacht and just relax around the beach. Do you wanna go do that? Like, what fucking women do you think you're gonna attract? Holy fuck, what an idiot.
Nice. As a man, when you focus on your goals and you build this attractive lifestyle, you get to live in like nice fancy places. Obviously, I've probably seen like a massive dick just showing you, oh, look at me, I'm in an expensive place. But I'm not doing that to be a bad person again. I'm doing it just to kind of give you a little bit of inspiration.
This guy's probably in a foreign country like Thailand, so this probably costs peanuts compared to, somewhere in the States or something.
A few years ago, I was a fucking loser, literally like trying to hold hands with the girl that I was like friend zoned by. But you can change so much in a few years when you just work super hard on like developing yourself as a good, strong, successful man would. And that puts it on the easy mode. That makes it
strong, successful man. You're a fucking YouTuber. Like, it's just insane how he says this. Like,
so much easier, and it makes it so much more fun when you do have this respect for yourself. And you also build a very nice physique as well.
Yeah, looks like you do push-ups. Good job.
Sweet. Hope that helps you, bro. Don't know if it will. Don't know if you'll just hate me because it's like, oh my god, he's saying good things about himself. Whoa, like he thinks he's better than me, bro. You might think that becoming a man who's worthy of a 10 out of 10.
Dude, gay. That was a terrible video. And yeah, he's delusional as fuck. Holy shit. Alright, I think we'll take a Hamza break. Because that was fucking bad. She have a new video out? Doesn't look like it. Let's just watch some sex. Just watch a few muscle mommies. Really like those pants. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. She has pretty crazy arms. Yeah, Hamza's been doing this gay thing where he like kisses the camera at the end of every video. It's really cringe. I like that outfit. Any other muscle mommies that I'm forgetting?
This is the world's tallest and strongest woman in Dubai, and this is $5,000. Dirhams? I'm not from the country.
She stands at 6'2", 191 pounds. And then there's me. No, down here, yeah. 5'10", a short king that weighs 180 pounds.
For every competition she beats me in, I will give you 1,000 of these.
Jesus, what a fucking beta.
Hey. What are you doing? First exercise is going to be a strongman stone lift. So what you have to do is you have to lift that stone, put it up there, then that one, and that one. We're going from lightest to heaviest, and whoever can lift the most heaviest balls wins. Awesome. I should be really good at this. Okay, are you ready? Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Come on. Okay, you don't have to slam it. Oh. Okay, you're going. Put it up there. Okay. Wow, she is very strong. You gotta use your hips. Squat it down, squat down.
Why isn't she putting it in the fucking hole?
You got this. Come on now. Oh my gosh. This is insane.
Isn't there a thing to hold them there?
I swear. I don't even know. Come on, you got this. You wanna be weak? You wanna be weaker than me? 50 seconds. Was it good?
Bruh.
Okay. Are you ready? Okay.
He's gonna be able to smoke her because he's a man.
Okay. You're going down right now. Oh my god. Okay, this is a brick.
You know what? I wanted to actually get Atlas stones. They have the adjustable Atlas stones, and I think they're fucking insanely expensive. I remember I looked up the price and I was like, holy fuck, they're expensive. Yeah, $1,200 fucking dollars. How? How is this $1,200? yeah, I wanted to get this shit, and I was like, that'd be actually something sick to train with. And then 1,200. Even the Titan Fitness one, which is like a value brand, still 1,200. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, I don't know how the hell anybody's supposed to afford that. Like over $1,000 for a ball that you put weight in. It's like, what the fuck, bro? I don't understand. And then, I think these are just stones, and these are way cheaper. So you can just, like, buy a stone for, like, $300-400, but then you can't adjust the weight. But, like, that is fucking crazy for those adjustable Atlas stones.
Watch the first 2 minutes of this video, so cringe it's funny.
I will take a look. Yeah, that's not an adjustable. Let me see, F.
How are you guys this week? We're finally black. How are you guys this week? We are back on the vlog camera for Frankie's Strange Meat Weekly number 3, which is important because now I can show you guys all my new Tinder matches on my phone after being out in the country. Here's my first one. This is actually my top choice, but you know how Tinder is, like it's hard to get the pretty girls on Tinder. You guys see her?
Remember, everybody, I'm not gay.
Really pretty, huh? And then my backup was, I mean, not my first choice, but you know, I can't be in my house, you know, doing nothing all day. I need something, you know.
What does de Millard want to debate? Make a debate proposition in chat.
I need some affection out there. So, look, this one was a little rough around.
Yeah, so if he wants to debate veganism, make a proposition. Ugh.
On the edges, she's a little hairy, but look, if I go any longer, I'm gonna have to maybe take her on a date, you know. So, you know, I already matched with her, but I'm waiting on option number 1.
Where the fuck is this shit coming from? It's so weird.
So we'll see. Have you guys gotten the picture? I've lost my mind out here. I've lost it. But if you guys continue to support the businesses, we should have a farm by spring of next year. I'm a little broke right now. I don't have the capital for the down payment. But if you guys continue to support the businesses, if everything goes well, we will have a farm by spring of 2024. And hopefully there is a spring on the farm for some natural water. But yeah, no, I'm not having fun today. It's 2 o'clock right now. I've been on my phone since like 9 in the morning fixing stuff, which I haven't eaten anything. I haven't been able to do anything. Just calls all day trying to sort some stuff out. But we're making some stuff happen. And the last vlog we did was like an hour long. I'm going to try to condense it a little bit because I'm going to give up doing these vlogs every day. It's just way too much work. So I'm going to try to keep it condensed and short and concise. I did want to read some reviews. We had some excellent feedback on the beef barley stew. On the other hand, I don't really want to into some of the Best Bars ones, so we started putting them. And then we can truck just. I don't remember with beef. Tomorrow, it's not doing that. It's not good. So hopefully we can fix the Vichy Soir. If not, products from a Chinese phone. Obviously, there's no point of amending a payment if it was already received. You know, I asked, and I was explaining that to the banker. And this banker, which is he's in some type of service center in India that Chase is outsourcing all their labor to. And I asked him, if you're gonna make toast in the morning, do you plug in the toaster before you put the toast in? And then this guy goes, "Oh, that would depend on the individual person, sir." That is, I was like, "Oh, fuck." We got here at 2:30. He said he's regular.
Why is he uploading this fucking trash? Like, holy fuck, this is bad. His vlogs are becoming ever more boring and stupid.
Okay.
Okay, dude, if you can't lift this.
What am I at? Wait! So I won. There it is. I knew that. Feel like a little baby in a fetal position? Shut up. Yes, mommy. Oh, holy crap. Okay. Pass the rope. Speed! God! I don't give a shit!
I don't know what the point of this is. He is literally just up against a girl. I don't like Jesse's content. It's just kind of trash. I guess people are into this, but I just think his content's trash in general. Should we? I guess we should. The hidden power of testosterone. What men need to know. There have been so many circumstances where he's made videos about testosterone, and literally the opposite of what he's claimed is true, and his advice would lower your testosterone.
Do you know what the best benefit of testosterone is? It's not increased muscle mass. It's not increased sex drive. It's not increased confidence. It's that testosterone makes effort feel good.
He copied that from Derek from More Plates, More Dates. So, yeah, this is not his idea. He just totally copied that.
This is something I learned from Dr. Andrew Huberman's podcast. Testosterone makes effort feel good. I want you to think right now. Just think about the hard.
Yeah, the first person I've heard say that wasn't Huberman. It was Derek from More Plates, More Dates. And then Huberman probably copied that from him, and then he may have copied that from Huberman. But if you're unironically watching Huberman's podcast for, like, fitness advice, you're genuinely a fucking moron. Just advice in general, if you're watching Andrew Huberman, you're a fucking moron. Huberman is a pseudo-intellectual quack who has no idea what he's fucking talking about. So if you're relying on him as a source of information, you're just fucking stupid.
Harder work that you've done over the last few weeks? Like, what tasks did you do? What was it for? Was it for studying or business or career? You would have literally felt better and more positive and more happy and joyful when you did that work. Now, feeling nice is, it's a nice little bonus.
That's not true. Men especially are more likely to suffer from autism and attention deficit disorders. So it kind of depends on what the work is. Just because you're on testosterone or you have high testosterone, it doesn't mean you're going to be able to do tasks that would not be enjoyable for somebody who has ADHD or autism. So that's just plain fucking stupid. Yeah, testosterone can give you greater feelings of well-being, give you more energy, but if you're talking about tasks that you wouldn't otherwise do, then yeah, you're probably still not going to want to fucking do them. Like, doing your fucking taxes, guess what? Being on testosterone, it's not going to want you to do your fucking taxes any more than you did before.
It's fine. But just think about the positive feedback loop of that. You do a piece of work, and because you...
Somebody with a stupid name made a proposition. If morality is subjective, preference-based and subjective, then couldn't someone have a preference of supporting the pain and death of animals, and couldn't someone have an intrinsic preference towards supporting it specifically? That's not a proposition. That's a question.
You've got higher testosterone. You feel better about it. But when you feel better about working, what's going to happen? You're going to work more. Think about how powerful that could be. Like,
No. If you feel better, you may just want to do things you enjoy more, not work more.
On a year-long scale, for an entire year, you enjoy your work more, which means that you'll do it more, which means that you'll get exponentially more results, because not only, you're just getting the more results because of the volume, but the volume is increasing your skill level, and that's increasing the results as well. So testosterone becomes this positive feedback loop for your...
Richard, is it fair to say that you aren't 100% straight? My guess is that you are at least 10% gay. Also react to this.
Hey, I'll admit there are some cute femboys. Yep. Thanks for the donation, Ballsack.
Hard work that you're doing, maybe it's for your athleticism, maybe it's for your business or your career or your studies. And that makes you a lethal competitor because you enjoy it, because you're now not even doing it for the result.
Yeah, again, testosterone isn't going to make things that you don't like doing more enjoyable. It's not going to make you enjoy things that you didn't like doing beforehand. It's just going to give you more energy, make you feel better in general. So the things you already enjoyed doing, you may be able to put more effort into. Or, again, if you enjoyed just working out before, you might just work out more. Doesn't mean, oh, yeah, my accounting business. Man, I'm going to sit down, stare at a fucking screen all day, type on a keyboard. Because, yeah, high testosterone. That's what, high testosterone men do.
Results that may come, for the rewards. You're doing it just because it feels good. Think about the difference of that compared to the guy who's doing it only for the results, like the low T guy who's doing it for only the results. Maybe you can relate to this as well.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody works for money, dude. If you weren't getting paid to do something, you wouldn't do it.
When you have low testosterone, effort doesn't really feel good. Effort feels kind of bad. You go to the gym and it's like, you've got this wimpy kind of personality with a burn, really, it's really painful and it feels bad. You do a little bit of work, a little bit of home.
There is a very complex thing that goes on when it comes to what sort of stressors will feel good. There are women who have very low testosterone, obviously, part of the reason being because they're women, who love exercise, who love working out. Exercise releases feel-good hormones, feel-good neurotransmitters, I should say, like serotonin, dopamine, and your response, your dopaminergic response to training may affect how much you want to, keep working out. Testosterone isn't really a big, it's not necessarily a big, factor here. So if you enjoy something, for whatever reason, you're just going to be motivated to do it more. And testosterone doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily the common denominator. But again, generally speaking, yeah, people feel more energetic, feel better in general when they're on testosterone. if they're like literally injecting it into their ass. So things that you already enjoy, you may just be able to put more effort into just because you have more energy to do it.
Work, and it's frustrating, and it fries your brain and you don't feel good. And so what happens when you don't feel good? You do less of it, you show up less, then your skill level is lower.
You can't just buy Atlas stone molds and shit and fill it with concrete. Like, you need it to be like a certain weight. The whole point of getting an adjustable Atlas stone thing is so that you can incrementally load. I can't make fucking 80 fucking stone blocks. And concrete, the way Atlas stones are made are different than just pouring concrete. So if you're just going to pour concrete, the stones are going to be super light.
And when your skill level's lower and you're doing it less and there's less volume, then your results are going to be less. So for these low T guys, they simply do like this kind of hard work just to try and get the rewards from it. But of course, being only extrinsically motivated, wanting the reward of...
Yeah, dude, you can't weigh out the concrete. If you have a mold, the mold is always going to be the same weight because it's the same volume. I can't make a fucking giant fucking ball of concrete so that it gets up to 200 pounds. That's just stupid. Again, that's why you need either the adjustable Atlas stone or you have to buy it from a company that's made it out of certain materials so it weighs a certain amount.
Something is a very poor way to live your life. So these are the guys who, for example, they go to the gym, they don't like going to the gym, but they do it just before the muscle. How will they ever build a better physique than the guy who goes to the gym because he actually enjoys it?
Yeah, they'll build a better physique because they have better genetics and they work harder. Just because you enjoy something, it doesn't mean you're not going to work as hard as somebody who has other motivations.
The same with business. How can you compete with me when I work 10 to 12 hours a day with a smile?
Again, this is the guy who admitted he only works about an hour and a half per week.
On my face because I enjoy it. Lots of people want to be YouTubers. And when I started this self-improvement YouTube channel, my main channel, 3 years ago, the amount of people who told me it was saturated, you can't make it on the scene right now. But there's a few big
no one told him that.
Self-improvement YouTubers already. I just worked 12 hours a day, every day for 3 years, and then it overtook every single...
That is bullshit. He literally admitted he only spends about an hour and a half on his videos per week.
One of them. Every single self-improvement channel out there. Why? Because it was fun for me. Because I was never extrinsically minded, because I was never doing it for the reward. I did it just because I felt awesome.
Yeah, so this guy was uploading a video about once every 2 to 3 days for a year. Then he started getting demonetized like crazy, and then he stopped uploading so much. And then he started uploading maybe once every week or two. So yeah, you weren't extrinsically motivated by money or anything, you're telling us. Sure you weren't.
Awesome each and every day. When I record these videos, I'm in a flow state right now. I feel awesome. How could you compete with me? Imagine if you had lower T than me. How could you compete when you didn't want to record today? Or how could you compete when recording makes you feel bad when it makes me feel good? This is the third video that I've recorded today. It's not even 6 a.m. It's literally 5:30. I woke up at 4 to record. This isn't, a me versus you, I'm better than you, but I'm just kind of giving the situation here because this is the thing that
You woke up because your girlfriend either doesn't exist and you live a joyless, sad life where the only thing you can think of doing is getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning and doing this. Or again, your girlfriend isn't good enough in bed for you to bother to stay in bed with her, and then again, you couldn't think of anything better to do than to record this stupid fucking video at 4 or 5 in the morning.
I enjoy, and this is the effort that feels good for me. But just think about a low testosterone man competing with a high testosterone man, of what an unfair, just easy, like maybe genetic advantage it is for the high T guy to just get this positive feedback loop and do 10 times more volume than the low T guy, and of course get 10 times the results. Is there anyone?
Can you show us the fucking data that like somebody with, I don't know, 400 nanograms per deciliter testosterone is like not able to put in as many hours in at work compared to somebody with 800 nanograms per deciliter? Like, where's this idea fucking coming from? It's just fucking stupid. If you look at some of the like biggest top athletes, you'll find that a lot of them just have normal levels of testosterone. The reason why they're so athletically gifted isn't because of their testosterone. It's because they have like tendons that are much thicker than like a normal person's, so they're able to store more elastic tension. The distribution of muscle fiber type is like highly fast twitch, so they're able to produce a lot of like strength and power very easily, and they're faster. They just have more muscle fibers, so they're just born with more muscle at birth. They have better nervous system efficiency, but then if you look at their testosterone, it's like smack dab in the normal fucking range. Like, he just plain and simple doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Wonder why men are so different. Like, some men are super successful, amazing with women, have an abundance of everything that they want in life, and other guys masturbate. Which one do you want to be?
Yeah, right. If you
Huge
masturbate,
power
you're going to be a
in
loser.
increasing your testosterone only a few points. And I think one of my previous videos on this second channel that I've got is titled Fast Ways to Increase Testosterone Today. That video, you can just go and watch it.
Literally every single piece of advice he made to increase your testosterone would not increase your testosterone. In some cases, it would lower it.
So I gave 3 tips that you could literally use today to get a little testosterone boost. Because when you do that, when you work and you set up these like testosterone boosting things into your schedule, it's just going to mean that hard work that you usually slack on, that you usually procrastinate on, you will actually feel like pleasurable whilst you do it.
No, you won't. No, if you take testosterone, that's not going to be a cure for ADHD. It's not going to be a cure for autism. It's not going to be a cure for you doing things that you don't like to do. Where the fuck did he get that idea? Please show me the fucking evidence for that. Show me a randomized trial where people with ADHD who literally can't sit at a fucking desk and like do homework started taking testosterone replacement therapy, and suddenly, they enjoy doing fucking math. Where the fuck is this claim coming from? What a moron.
I don't even think like you've wrapped your mind around how powerful that is. Imagine like if you're in school right now, most of the people in your class don't actually really enjoy studying, but they just get it done through like discipline.
There you go. Like hilariously, he brings up this example. Holy shit, what a moron.
Imagine
like, bro, have you seen the fucking Poindexters who get the best grades in fucking like high school and university? They're all Asian kids. They hate doing fucking schoolwork. And the only reason they do it is because their parents will literally cut their fucking heads off if they don't do it. Like, what are you talking about? The kids that do the best in school are the fucking skinny, nerdy little Asian kids who are the most unathletic fucks you will ever see in your life. How the fuck does schoolwork have to do with education? Like, what, the smartest guy who ever lived, Stephen Hawking? Does he look like a guy who's high on fucking testosterone? Yeah, look how high his testosterone is, guys. Like, the only way he was able to study and do all this research and loved doing all this science shit is because this motherfucker had high testosterone. Look how high his test levels are. You can just see this guy's like practically roided up. What an idiot.
Imagine if you actually enjoyed it. Imagine if you enjoyed it.
Enjoying something doesn't have anything to do with fucking testosterone, dude. I can enjoy eating donuts. Does that mean I have high testosterone because I fucking enjoy something? Holy
More
shit.
than playing video games.
Oh my god, what a fucking idiot,
Holy
dude.
fuck. Think about how powerful it is. Imagine if you enjoyed the hard work that was going to change your life forever more than you enjoyed video games and watching porn. Testosterone makes effort feel good. I also...
Buddy, like, have you noticed that these are male-dominated hobbies, watching porn and playing video games? Like, it's kind of funny how he says, oh, dudes who are low on testosterone watch porn and play video games. Strange how these are male-dominated hobbies. It's almost as if testosterone is associated with video games and porn. Like, can you, like, make two fucking brain cells kind of connect and work together?
think this hasn't been studied, but I do think testosterone makes wasting your time doing bad habits, unproductive things, feel worse.
Yeah, right. That's why men play fucking video games. That's why men watch fucking porn. That's why men are more likely to get addicted to drugs and alcohol. That's why men are more likely to join gangs. That's why men are more likely to, commit crimes. That's why men end up getting obsessed with, like, weird, obscure, niche fucking hobbies, like fucking slot car racing, or they get, like, hyper obsessed with, like, fucking things that don't really matter, like weight training or martial arts, like, as if this is so stupid.
Maybe there'll be studies coming out on that soon, so maybe you can, mark my words with this. Testosterone makes being unproductive feel worse. Because you've got...
Right, because going to the gym and training, 6 hours a day, and then working a part-time job at fucking Publix, so that you can be, this gigantic fucking jacked bodybuilder. Yeah, that's productive, right? That's not a waste of fucking time. Going to the gym and spending all your fucking time training and taking steroids and shit so you can be this gigantic body. This is the type of shit that men do. If you're going to talk about testosterone having any effect on behavior, it seems to make you have hyper-specific fucking hobbies that you end up obsessing over, and it just gives you a very competitive fucking, very competitive desires, but because your fucking interests are hyper-specific, you can see weird shit like this, where what you're doing isn't necessarily conducive to your overall well-being. You'll see bodybuilders who can barely pay their fucking rent, but they put all their time and effort into fucking bodybuilding. You'll see people, again, have these bizarre hyper-specific hobbies, like they're amazing at slot car racing, or they're literally autism level with a bolt-action rifle. That's what testosterone seems to do. It doesn't necessarily make you more productive. It just makes you hyper-competitive and makes you have an interest in more specific niche things.
Got this energy, you want to fucking do something. This is why high testosterone guys just will always seem they are going to go hit this workout, then they're going to go do this piece of work, then they're going to do this, then they're going to do this. They're trying to be present with their loved ones, and they quickly need to go on their phone to quickly do an extra piece of work because it feels awesome for them. It feels bad to be sat around not doing anything that's moving you towards your goals. I think that this yin yang of it makes the work feel good, and it makes...
Okay, notice how he's using two different terms here. He's saying, oh, work towards your goals and being productive. Those are two different things. Your goals can be completely unproductive. And again, it depends on what you consider productive. If you want to be, I don't know, the best at fucking Boggle, then I guess whatever you do towards that goal is productive, but are we gonna fucking sit here and say, a dude who can barely pay his fucking bills and pay his rent and just squeaks by at life, won't have any kind of future, but he'll be the world Boggle champion? Is that what you'd consider productive?
Makes not working feel worse, or let's say being unproductive feel worse. What a fucking lethal combination to make you better in your studies, business, career. And we have low T. Our generation has very low T. Not only is there a few things that you
I don't think there's great evidence to suggest that testosterone is truly declining in this generation. Obesity and alcohol consumption are definitely factors, but if you control for confounding variables, you do see a decline in testosterone, but I think that's actually due to nicotine prevalence. I don't think you can properly control for nicotine consumption due to secondhand smoke. So most of this data is comparing men from the 1960s to men from now, which is where smoking prevalence peaked. This is when everybody was smoking, even in hospitals, and you couldn't really avoid secondhand smoke, especially if you worked in customer service.
You can do to increase your testosterone, which you can go and watch in that previous video. But actually, I just want to tell you quickly about a few issues that are actually lowering your testosterone. There's a few things lowering your T, and so if we can get rid of those things, then you should essentially see like an increase to your testosterone, like back to the healthy, like World War II grandpa levels. And
there is no data analyzing average testosterone levels from World War II. No data whatsoever. The earliest data dates back into the 1960s.
There's a bunch of ones that you probably already know. Lack of sleep and diet. I don't want to go through. I've never wanted to just sit here and tell you the basic shit that you can go and read on like every shit article. If you search on Google, like how to increase testosterone, and there's a bunch of like shitty articles that say the same things, like sleep, resistance training, sunlight. They just say the same fucking things over and over again. But there's very interesting things that decrease testosterone that not many people speak about. The single easiest and fastest way is to stop putting your phone in your pocket.
Oh, we're going there. Oh, what an idiot. No, your phone does nothing to decrease your testosterone, you fucking idiot.
Still, I guarantee this is the truth. Putting your phone...
Cool, show us the paper. Show us the fucking paper that's shown putting your cell phone in your fucking pocket lowers testosterone, because the fucking radio signal somehow damages the testosterone producing cells in your testicles. Show us the data. Oh, no, you can't. You never will, because the research doesn't exist and you literally made the stupid shit up. You know what I think he did? He saw an Andrew Huberman episode where he misread a study about how cell phones in your pocket can affect sperm production. And now he's changing that into testosterone production. I think that's what he's doing.
Phone in your pocket with it's like the cellular service and the 5G, Wi-Fi, all of that stuff. Putting that...
Yeah, Wi-Fi, 5G, it does not affect your testosterone. It cannot damage any cell in your body. It's non-ionizing, and these devices don't output enough energy to raise the temperature of water. So even if it's like right next to your head, right next to your balls, these devices do not put out enough energy to raise the temperature of water. They're regulated. So there's no cell phone on the fucking planet that will raise the temperature of water, meaning not only is it non-ionizing, so the radiation itself can't actually damage the cellular structure, but it doesn't output enough energy to where heat could even fucking cause cellular damage. It is literally impossible for a cell phone to affect your body in any fucking way. So like this guy just is so goddamn stupid. It's unreal.
In your pocket will lower your testosterone levels. Mark my words when I say this. I probably seem like a crazy guy or something. Mark my fucking words that if you don't start doing this right now, if you carry on putting your phone in your pocket, soon, at whatever time, there's going to be so...
This is so stupid. Okay, if you're going to talk about radiation affecting testosterone production in your testicles, why isn't he talking about like taking a bath or taking a shower? The infrared radiation that you're getting does raise the temperature of water. Like it literally is heat. That would have a bigger effect on your testosterone in your like being produced in your testicles than your phone, since again, you're exposing yourself to radiation in the form of infrared that is raising the temperature of water. So in theory, it could cause damage to cellular structures. Why isn't he mentioning that? So if he thinks your cell phone is fucking with testosterone, then he should be advising people not to go outside when it's hot, stay in air-conditioned houses, and take showers or baths with water that isn't hot, that's like room temperature. But he's not going to say that because he's fucking stupid. He just is afraid of cell phones. The high testosterone man who's so alpha male Chad, whose balls are just so fucking productive and on their purpose that they're just dead set on making testosterone at all times of the day. This fucking guy is afraid of a cell phone. Invisible fucking radio waves that he can't see terrifies this fucking pussy. But yeah, he has high testosterone, guys.
Like, it'll be blasted over the news that this is causing so many men to be infertile because the radiation's frying their fucking testicles. Guarantee I'm right with this.
I guarantee you I could smash your fucking teeth in and make you shit out teeth.
Wow, no wonder this scam's asshat is a YouTuber. Instead of having an occupation in the career field he went and got a degree in, which is psychology apparently. He would be a shit counselor. He doesn't understand how the brain works.
He doesn't understand how anything works. He doesn't understand how the brain works, how his testicles work, how cell phones work, how women work. I don't even know if he knows where babies come from, honestly. But thanks for the donation, New. Appreciate it. This guy is such a fucking bullshitter. It's just insane. Oh, this is great. Hi, Hamza, med student here. The part saying where heat reduces sperm count is absolutely true. Embryology professor something. So, what? Why didn't he bring up the fact that if he's going to fucking claim cell phones are reducing sperm, then why? How does this make any sense? Legit, what? I just genuinely do not understand. Your own body produces infrared. Your own body produces heat. There is more heat being produced by your body than is produced by radio waves from a fucking cell phone. Like, your own body heat presumably would be more of a danger to testosterone production than the cell phone, but he's talking about how the fucking cell phone is dangerous, and you have a fucking guy claiming he's a med student being like, yeah, Hamza, you're right. Like, oh my god, there are doctors who watch fucking Hamza. Watch out. If you ever, like, are referred to, to some doctor, and you're not sure, ask if they watch Hamza, and if they say yes, fucking run. There are doctors that watch Hamza. That should terrify you.
Guarantee, I promise you, I'm absolutely right with this. You can see me as some crazy guy, but I'm telling you how weird this is. Putting your phone in your pocket decreases testosterone, and it will kill your sperm cells. It will make you, more infertile. It has a chance to stop you from...
Infertility is completely separate from testosterone production, so I don't know how he's tying these two things together. On top of that, again, show us the data that cell phone radiation damages sperm cells and prevents testosterone from being produced. He can't. He's just saying this. By his own admission, he's just making this up.
Having children. Perhaps putting your phone on airplane mode, and obviously making sure, you can have phones on airplane mode, but you can still have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on or something. Make sure that's off as well. But putting your phone on airplane mode, then putting it in your pocket is probably okay.
Oh my god, he doesn't even understand how a cell phone works. Putting your phone in airplane mode disables Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. He didn't understand that. He doesn't even understand how a cell phone works.
But I don't put my phone anywhere near my balls at all anymore, even on airplane mode or not. I just literally just hold my phone, no matter what I'm at, what I'm doing. If I'm walking somewhere, I'm in a restaurant, whatever, I literally just hold my phone in my hand. It doesn't feel bad or anything like that. I just hold my phone in my hand.
Absolute moron.
guarantee this is the truth. People have called me fucking crazy for this. I went on my own fucking subreddit, right? My own subreddit when I first started speaking about this, and the amount of people who were saying like, "Oh, Hamza's lost it. Hamza's lost it. He's telling us that he's telling us about 5G radiation. We just need more simple tips and stuff." I was just thinking, bro, you're a
There's just like, I keep getting, content and ideas for when I make the Hamza video. There is so much nonsense to go through. It's just baffling. Just every fucking video, there's like 30 minutes of horseshit that this guy spews. I don't even know where to begin.
fucking idiot if you don't believe me. I'm telling you right now, you can call me crazy. Wait till there's like some big article. Wait till there's something on the news. And then you're going to be like, oh, wow, that crazy guy was actually right, man. It's a shame that I've already fried my fucking sperm cells. And now I can't father children. Should have just listened to him. If I showed you my own fucking sperm results, you wouldn't even believe me. I tripled my sperm. I imagine like
show us the paper. So if you've gone to the hospital and you've gotten your sperm count checked at one point, it was low, and then you did things to increase your sperm count, you got it checked again, and it was higher. Show us. You said you tripled your sperm count? Show us the evidence. He's never going to show us the lab work because he never got it done. Why would this guy get his sperm tested? There's no reason. He's not planning on having kids anytime soon. So he's full of shit. He's just lying.
The stuff that you have in your balls, I tripled it with just not putting my phone in my pocket. How?
Oh, okay. He is just flat out lying. He is completely fucking lying. He's saying he tripled his sperm count by not having a cell phone in his pocket. Well, guess what, Hamza? If you're going to claim cell phones will literally cut your sperm count by a third, well, then there would be evidence for this. You could perform a randomized trial showing how cell phones would, cut your sperm count by a third. You can't show us any research on that. Cell phones are a relatively new invention. They only started appearing in the 1980s, and only like lawyers had them. So like it wasn't until maybe the 2000s where your average person started having a cell phone. So why the hell hasn't sperm count like literally being cut by a third since now everybody has a cell phone? Because you're full of shit. There's literally no evidence in support of your fucking claim, and I know you're fucking lying. He's literally making up fucking bullshit right here.
How mad is that? I should do a post once when I show you the results that I got with this. That's the first and most easy way to increase your testosterone. Do not put your phone in your pocket. When you see one of your friends do it, maybe tell him. He won't believe you. He won't believe you. Just like, it'll be easier when there's a bunch of scientists talking about this shit, then it'll be easier and we can just kind of show them the news articles or whatever, fine. But right now this is seen as like a conspiracy theory thing, just like a few years ago, like the whole, there was guys saying like, oh yeah, 5G radiation is really bad. Polyester clothing, gym clothing, especially a lot of guys wear like polyester, like that sort of like...
Yeah, so the polyester clothing and shit, it only affects sperm production. I haven't seen any evidence that it actually affects testosterone production.
Gym, like almost.
So the cells responsible for producing testosterone, they're not going to be as sensitive to heat as your sperm cells. They work completely differently. So I don't know why the hell you'd assume that affects testosterone. Again, show me a randomized trial where testosterone has been increased by wearing like cotton clothing. Or switching from boxers to briefs. You just can't.
It's like a football shirt material. Because not only for testosterone, but it brings almost like a tear to my eye that the more important thing, in my opinion, isn't just testosterone, it's fertility. This is a side rant, but like many men don't realize the problem of infertility these days.
There is not a problem with infertility in men. That just simply isn't the fucking case. Men produce enough fucking testosterone to father children. That is bullshit. It is incredibly rare that a guy has issues with producing enough sperm to father children. That is a very rare issue. And again, that's something that can easily be treated, not only with lifestyle modification, but you can take drugs that will boost sperm production. So it's just not a fucking problem. If you have testicles, in all likelihood, you will be able to father children.
A lot of us are actually infertile in it, and we don't fucking know. I got a sperm test earlier this year.
Show us the test results. You can't, because you never got your sperm tested.
And it basically said I was fucking infertile.
Nope, it didn't. You're lying. He's just lying.
And anything that increases sperm counts may also increase testosterone.
No, something that increases sperm count does not increase testosterone. So, sperm count and testosterone are two different things. That's not true.
So we've talked about testosterone specifically, and you've probably done a bunch of research on it, and it almost feels a bit boring to like watch like testosterone videos because you've heard the same thing.
So marijuana is known to reduce sperm count, but marijuana is also known to increase testosterone. That's a good example of something that would actually decrease your sperm count but increase your testosterone.
Over and over, right? Like, you know, sleep and exercise, sunlight, diet, whatever. It's like, it kind of feels like there's not much else we could do with testosterone. There's a whole new area that you can look into. And if you focus on increasing your sperm, you should also get this boost in your testosterone anyway.
Nope. There are plenty of things that will boost testosterone but decrease sperm count.
So you get the win-win effect. You get this sperm, which your future self is grateful for so that he can have children if he decides to. But also that translates to testosterone, which makes you feel good when you put in effort and everything. The ways to increase sperm, there's a bunch of like, you know, herbal remedies and stuff I haven't pursued that. I've only just been thinking, why are sperm down? Sperm count is down, right? You've probably heard that statistic. Men's sperm count has went down by 50% in the last 20 years.
No, that's a total lie. It hasn't gone down by 50%. Male sperm count declining. Let's see. So sperm counts fell on average by 1.2% per year between 1973 to 2018, from 104 to 49 million per milliliter. So that's concentration. That's not count. From the year 2000, this rate of decline accelerated to more than 2.6. So that's concentration, not count. That's a different thing. Scientific American. Some studies have found marked drops in sperm count, whereas others have not, and it's surprisingly hard to measure. Physicians Raymond, blah, 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 had lower semen volume, higher quantity of normal sperm, lower concentration, ever since, blah, blah, blah. So Complication Matters research has revealed that sperm counts vary by age, ejaculation frequency, season, geographical location, marijuana, alcohol use, type of underwear, and collection in a clinic versus at home. These counts can vary even within a single sample. These factors make it difficult to compare sperm counts across different study populations. So although some large-scale analyses of past studies have suggested significant drop in sperm count since 1970s, few researchers caution that the finding is far from settled. So, yeah, it's hooey.
Or 50 years, whatever it is. You've probably heard the statistic that men's testosterone is going down by 1% every year. You know what's worse than that? Men's sperm count is going down by about 2.5% every year.
Well, guess what? The population keeps fucking increasing, so I'm not terribly I'm not terribly concerned that we're gonna have a infertility crisis.
It's not scientifically proven, but this is just what I do, which I think works. If I'm ever going to go into the sauna, what I do is, it's kind of like common courtesy, like respect, to kind of like bring a towel and to sit on the towel.
So this guy will go into an extremely hot room where there is a ton of infrared radiation that could conceivably affect, again, these cells responsible for producing sperm and testosterone, just because of the amount of radiation. And he thinks that's fine, but he's worried about a cell phone that literally cannot produce enough energy to raise the temperature of water. Like, nothing he says makes any sense.
Wild. It's given this.
Okay, well, there you go. Hamza's dumb, but we already knew that.
This is a 2001 Lamborghini Diablo GTR, and it's insane. The Diablo was Lamborghini's supercar throughout the 1990s, and this is the ultimate version of it, with only a handful made and a value of well over $1 million. And today, I'm going to review it. Before I get started, be sure to check out Cars and Bids, which is my enthusiast car auction website for cool cars from the modern era, now with free listings. You can list your car for free and auction it on Cars and Bids. And we've had some great sales results. Enthusiast car from the modern era, Collection, which is a dealership here in Los Angeles that specializes in special cars. Specialty Car Collection has a fantastic inventory of luxury and exotic cars, very cool and exciting vehicles, but the crown jewel, at least right now, is this.
Hey, Jasmine, you may want to rent a truck for tomorrow. Because the size of the thing. Like, I think U-Haul has, like, flatbed trucks. It's only like $50, isn't it? Like, plus whatever mileage. Well, I'm just saying we might have an issue fitting it in the car. Why don't you just look up the rates? Just look up the rates on U-Haul and see. Okay.
Diablo GTR. You can check it out on Specialty Car Collection's website by clicking the link in the description below. So let's talk Diablo GTR. Like I said, the Diablo was Lamborghini's supercar throughout the 1990s, and the GTR was the ultimate version, a race car model with almost 600 horsepower and insanely limited production. And frankly, it's just wild, and today I'm going to show it to you. First, I'll take you on a thorough tour of the Diablo GTR and show you all of its quirks and features. Then I'm going to drive it. I'll get it out on the road and drive it, and then I'll give it a Doug score. Alright, time for the quirks and features, the Diablo GTR. There are quite a few quirks and features to this car, starting right off the bat with the door, where there's some crazy stuff. Probably the most unusual quirk out here is this duct. You can see right here by the mirror, a duct that seems to be coming from the mirror to the interior of the car. So what exactly is that about? Well, this is a race car, and that means they've removed the climate control system, the air conditioning, the heat, it's all gone. And it can get pretty hot inside the interior as a result. So this duct brings fresh air from the outside into the interior while you're moving. And it does that by clamping on to the rear view mirror. There's a little separation between the two mirror posts. All Diablos have that. The GTR capitalizes on it by sticking a duct inside that separation to get the air and then funnel it into the interior. You can see on the inside, it actually looks like a climate control vent, like an air conditioning vent a normal car would have, except it's hooked up to a duct going through the window and then through the mirror to bring fresh air into the car. That's pretty crazy. And speaking of this window, you might be wondering why the duct goes through it, and that's because it's fixed in place. This is common in race cars to save weight. They don't have a glass window that rolls down like you might have for comfort and convenience in a normal car. Instead, it's a lightweight plexiglass window that doesn't roll down, and in fact, the only part that opens is this little piece here, slides open, and that's the only other ventilation you can get in this interior. So you have this tiny window opening for ventilation, or you can use your duct that goes through the mirror in the window. Pretty crazy stuff. And by the way, speaking of the windows in this car, in the back window you can especially see that it's this lightweight plexiglass and it's just sort of bolted to the car. It doesn't look that good, but this is a race car, and looking good is secondary to functionality and saving weight with these lightweight windows. Now, the other funny thing with the door in this car is how you get inside. In order order to pop open the door, you press this little pad with the keyhole. That unlatches the door, and then you can pull on this handle part, and then the door opens right up. And you can see it is a scissor door, looks very cool, very exotic, and that's shared with the standard Diablo. And it looks just like an exotic car should, with these exotic opening doors that look cool. The funny part of this door handle situation is you push the keyhole in order to unlatch the door, but this car has no keys. It's a race car. It doesn't come with keys, but there's a keyhole anyway, because they just use that part from the standard Diablo, and it's kind of funny to see it there. A keyhole you can never lock. But anyway, next with the doors open, we climb inside the Diablo GTR, which is easier said than done because of the roll cage. You can see part of it here making this X shape over the door opening, which makes it tremendously difficult to get inside the car. Roll cages like this are mandated safety equipment for race cars, but they certainly make it hard to get in and out. Take a look at me trying to climb inside. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Whoa.
Okay, but anyway, once you're inside, you can see just how basic this interior is. You look around and you see basically nothing. For instance, on the dashboard, there's no climate vents pointing at the cabin. Like I said, they've removed all the climate control system, so no vents at all. You also have no carpeting in here. You don't have nice floor mats or leather-trimmed floors with piping like some Italian exotics did back in this era. This thing is pure race car, totally stripped out, and no luxuries like carpeting. And indeed, all the luxuries are gone, but so are all of the convenience items. For instance,
weird.
There's no glove box in this interior. Over on the side of the dashboard, you can see no glove box. In fact, there's no storage in here at all. Race cars don't really need interior storage. You're not trying to like stick an owner's manual somewhere or some paperwork, and so this car has none of that. You also have no ashtray or cigarette lighter in here like you do in a standard Diablo in the center, and other center storage panels. They've all been removed. It's all gone. Basic and stripped out to only the necessities.
Yeah. Israel what? Like how?
These to save weight for
Sure it's not Hamas?
a race car. So what do you have in here? The main thing you see when you climb inside in the center is just a few switches and buttons in here. These are the only controls necessary to operate this as a race car. And you can see they're rather large and sort of rubbery to make it easier to press while you're wearing gloves like you might when you're in a race. And frankly, these controls are tremendously simple. You can see at the bottom right you have your headlights, low beams, high beams, the rear fog light, all your lighting is down there. At the top, this row of buttons is your wipers. You can see wiper 1, wiper 2, which I imagine is a speed control, and then you also have a window washer, which could come in handy on the racetrack. And you also do have turn signals in this car, left and right. This little switch here controls your turn signals, which might come in handy on the racetrack. If you're signaling that you're going into a pit lane or coming out of a pit lane, you may want your signals, so they included them in here. But the other items in this center control area...
Jesus, imagine driving that on the road and using that as a turn signal. Oh, that would be a nightmare.
Are primarily focused on turning on the car. The one at the top, this little lever, is a battery switch. You turn that to the right and then the battery is activated. The electronics are connected, and that's your first step in starting.
Bilajan Mike Shuni, Ani Esmael Kui, Wan Emmet Mimazam. Shirkani Dashtand as Joml Cheers at Pushen, Yani Arteshi Ha Amaim Poshon Yani. Agar Oberi Athad Malum Shavard, Bimardom Vegan Govate Golb Midahad. But Kubi Bud Barniwaro Nadaran.
I don't speak Spanish, but thanks for the donation, Mandalam. Appreciate it.
Starting up the car. The second step is to lift up this little red cover over this switch. This is your ignition switch, and you lift up the red cover almost like you're firing a missile. It's pretty cool. But anyway, you lift that up and you push it forward, and then the car's ignition is on, and then you press this black button here marked simply run, and that starts up the engine and it gets running, and then you've turned on the car. Your last control in here is inside this little red cup. There's a button that is for your fire suppression system. This car has the plumbing for a fire extinguisher system inside the car. So if you're driving along on the racetrack and a fire starts, or if you crash and you're worried about fuel spill and a fire start, you press that button and then the fire extinguisher system will spray like foam or some sort of fire retardant to make sure the fire doesn't take hold and spread. And you can see directly behind the driver's seat, that silver canister is the fire extinguisher for this car. You can see lines running from that canister for the fire extinguisher plumbing. I'm not sure if it's still operant, but in theory, that's where that foam is kept, and when you press the red button, it will spray and kill any chance of having a big fire. Now, the other thing you can see here in this center area that you might be surprised to see is a screen. There's like a large touchscreen situation here. That is hooked up to a backup camera, which you can see around the back of the car. Right here, here's your backup camera, and it feeds to the screen. Now, it's currently not hooked up, that's why it's not on right now, but it has been installed and it can be operant, and frankly, it's kind of important in this car because you don't have a rear window. You look behind the seats and you can see no rear window here. Instead, just a large carbon fiber panel and some more of your roll cage. So visibility isn't exactly great in this car. You pretty much only have your exterior side mirrors, no rear window to look back. And by the way, speaking of that carbon fiber panel behind the seats, it is a lot thinner than what you had in the standard Diablo road car. They do that, once again, to save weight, but the result is that you get a lot of the engine heat kind of filtering into the interior, and it makes it pretty hot in this car, which helps explain why you need those ducts coming from the mirrors through the windows and into the car to provide a little ventilation and cooling in this interior. Now, speaking of that cooling and ventilation and the whole climate control situation, it is worth pointing out that you do have two vents at the top of the dashboard. You can see them here, and they can be used as a window defogger, which in theory could be important if you're racing. In certain conditions, it could get foggy, and so you can turn on those vents and defog the window to help you keep driving as fast as possible. Now, also worth pointing out with this dashboard, you can see it's all Alcantara, which has become a very common material in a lot of cars these days, but back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it really wasn't. Regular Diablos pretty much exclusively used leather for the most part, and so seeing Alcantara is unusual, but it had some racing benefits. For one thing, it's lighter than leather, and it also doesn't glare as much onto the window, which can be helpful if you're driving in certain circumstances. You just want to be focused on the road ahead, not dealing with glare from your leather dashboard. Now, next up, another interesting item worth noting about this interior is it has a passenger seat. You can see I'm sitting in it. It has a passenger seat, which isn't really all that notable except for the fact that these cars didn't have a passenger seat. When the Diablo GTR was sold new, it came only with a driver's seat. That's all you need on the racetrack. And the passenger seat was removed compared to a standard Diablo in order to save weight. But the previous owner of this car put the passenger seat back in because he wanted it to be more usable on a day-to-day basis. And that is notable because this Diablo GTR is one of only a handful that actually has a VIN. You can see it right here.
It's my favorite vegan meal, Jasmine's ass.
Here in the engine bay, a true VIN. Most race cars don't have that. Instead, they have some sort of serial number. They don't ever need to be registered, so a VIN isn't necessary. But this Diablo GTR was titled and registered for road use and driven by its prior owner on the road. And that's true for only a few Diablo GTRs. How cool would it be to drive this thing along? A standard Diablo isn't badass enough for you. You gotta go for the ultra limited production lightweight race car version and put a license plate on it. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself going into the engine compartment because there's still a few interesting quirks and features to cover in this interior, like for example, the plaque indicating how special this car is. It's mounted in the interior but facing out through the rear window. You can see it here. A lot of special cars have a plaque like in the dashboard telling the occupants how special it is, but in this car it tells bystanders how special it is. People who approach it on the street will then know that only 30 of these were built. And indeed, this is number 28 of 30, only 30 Diablo GTRs manufactured. But anyway, next up, another interesting item in this interior, the seats are wider than what you have in a standard Diablo, which makes sense. These are racing seats with a racing harness. They have heavy bolstering to keep you in place on the racetrack, and so they're wider than like a standard leather seat in the Diablo.
Bend over to tires. To be fair, the hammer started it. Oh yeah. I've seen that.
Our team of auto injury attorneys has the experience to get you the most compensation fast.
Call now to speak directly to an attorney.
And that matters. All the
Cats are fucking hilarious. Thanks for the donation, Bend Over.
As a result of that, Lamborghini had to make the center console narrower than what you see in a standard Diablo. So you can see the dashboard and like the first part of the center console is all kind of one piece, and then there's a second carbon fiber piece that's smaller that doesn't really fit in with that first part, and that's to make it narrower to fit these seats, and so that center console is indeed narrower as a result. Now, one thing that wasn't changed in this center console is the transmission. You can see 5-speed manual transmission in the Diablo GTR with a dog-leg first gear. So first is down and to the left, and then second is up and in the middle, which is kind of unusual, but that's how the Diablos were, and that's how the Diablo GTR was as well. Now, one other item worth noting in this interior is the steering wheel. You can see very basic, no airbag here, no horn, no volume control buttons, just a simple Momo steering wheel, and it detaches. The theory here is it makes it easier to get in and out if you pull the steering wheel off, and then you can climb out more easily, but that's not actually true in practice. It is still tremendously difficult to get out of this car, as I shall now demonstrate. But anyway, next we move outside the Diablo GTR, where there are quite a few amazing features and quirks on this car, and probably my very favorite exterior revision compared to a standard Diablo is this air intake. It's mounted directly behind the passenger compartment on the roof, a roof scoop to bring air into the engine, and that is just plain cool. It's also massive, even by roof scoop standards, incredibly cool. The only drawback is you can't really hear it inside the car because you can't open the windows. So the roof scoop is there sucking in air. You just have to believe that while you're driving along. And as you might imagine, there are quite a few more changes than that on the outside of the Diablo GTR compared to the standard Diablo. One is wider front fenders. As you can see, they're a little wider, and that gives them room to have this little cooling duct integrated into the fenders, I guess for brake cooling or maybe for aero, and that is a pretty cool touch on the GTR. And since we're talking changes compared to a regular Diablo on the GTR, let's talk rear end, where you have an enormous amount of revisions and upgrades, the most noticeable of which is definitely the wing. You can see carbon fiber wing, absolutely massive, spans the entire width of the car, completely huge and insane, and it's actually bolted directly to the chassis. You open up the engine compartment and you can see where the wing is attached. It's not just stuck on bodywork for show like it is in some cars, stuck directly on the chassis so it can be used to provide real downforce while you're racing. Man, there are a lot of other upgrades to the back as well. For one, in the rear grille, you can see there's a little circle carved out, and you have this little metal piece sticking out. That is for the air jack system in this car. When you're driving a race car and you come in for a pit stop, you don't have time to like individually jack up each wheel and wait for the jack to get the car lifted. Instead, you gotta do it fast. So you can connect. An amazing sight, absolutely fantastic to see it all laid out right in front of you. It is beautiful. Now, a few things to point out here. For one, you can see the roof scoop mounted on top of the engine, also finished in carbon fiber, and you can see how it pulls air from the top. And so you might be wondering,
that's still a great looking car.
Did this ever race? Was it ever actually used as a race car? And the answer is, well, not really. Lamborghini created this simply to compete in its own one-vehicle race series and see how it drives. Oh my God. All right, driving the Diablo GTR. This is down Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles and Hollywood here. This is absolutely wild. I gotta be honest, I've driven quite a few race cars, including recently I've driven a few. And first thing that hits me is, as ridiculous as this is to say, this is actually more comfortable than I was expecting. A lot of times when you're sitting in these cars, because of the positioning of the roll cage and the race seat, you're, as a tall person, I'm like this up against the roof. It's just a disaster. Not the case in this car. It's actually not so bad. And I have enough space for my feet and for my body, and I'm kind of surprised. This isn't so bad in here. That makes the car a little bit more appealing. Now, it is hot, just like all race cars are. None of these cars really have a climate control system. This car has those little tubes on the sides of the windows, the doors, as I showed you, and obviously the plexiglass window slides open a little bit, as I also showed you, but It's not much, especially when you're sitting stopped, because all of that is powered by moving air, and so it's a little bit of a challenge. One very interesting thing I noticed right away in this car is the clutch is surprisingly easy. Another hallmark of race cars, manual transmission race cars that I've driven, that very heavy clutches, very difficult to drive. Not the case with this car. It actually is nice and smooth, getting it into gear and going. It's pretty cool. Man, the sound is so cool. They've really removed a lot of the partition between the driver and the powertrain in this car. That was one of the things the GTR had. And so you really hear it. I mean, it's right there behind you in a way you don't get in other Diablo models. Oh, this is so cool. Now, one hallmark of race cars, including this car, is it's loud in here and it's rough in here. It is a stiff suspension. Obviously, that's the point. You're trying to go around a racetrack as fast as possible. You don't need to have like suspension compliance for potholes. They never figured anybody would be driving this thing down the street in Beverly Hills. It's actually surprising me sitting in this car. It doesn't feel quite as compromised as I was expecting. Now, it's difficult to get in. You got to do the whole harness thing. Like I said, it's hot. It's rough in here, but like it's drivable. Oh, that sound is great. You got a nice gated shifter. Yeah, it is a rough ride, but that's how race cars are. You just got to live with that. I mean, if you wanted a more compliant ride, go get a regular Diablo. You won't be as cool. Now, visibility is, of course, a bit of a disaster. The mirrors are large. I think they're probably the same ones in the standard Diablo, but I don't have a back window there, as you can see. Not that it matters much, because in the regular Diablo, you can't see much out that window, but at least you can see something. In this car, you're just kind of hoping. I love the gated shifter, of course. I love how it feels. There's nothing like a gated shifter in any car, but especially one with the V12. How cool is that? It revs very quickly and easily, which is actually a pretty cool thing. You know, this car is older. You kind of wonder, is it going to work right? Is it going to feel decent to drive? The answer is yeah.
Huh? Yeah. Why? Yeah, I'm watching a video.
It actually is smoother than I thought. Like, the whole experience is better than I expected. This car is more drivable than you might think. Sitting here at a stoplight, the car is pretty rough, as you might expect. Like a race car, they take out all of the sound deadening. They take out everything. Oh my God. Hear that V12. This has got to be one of the latest models.
Look up the Venturi. Oh, that is neat.
Hey guys, this is RMC Miami.
That's a sick looking car.
Sounds and basically just go through the car.
Yeah, kind of looks like a cross between an Italian exotic and an American muscle car.
Doesn't hang sideways or have a bar going across. Power.
Yeah, that is a sick looking car.
So like a line lock system.
Yeah, that looks fucking cool.